morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Yes, this was a t-shirt. I cut my shirts because when I do my workouts, I feel like it's all frumpy and falling all over me. So I cut them. They're my shirts that the company gives me for finishing a program. And they're always big. I think they just don't like to do Good Morning, Tara. I just don't think they like to do super like little shirts. That way everybody's comfortable in them. I just happen to, I used to be fine with t-shirts, but now when I wear t-shirts, I feel like I look frumpy. So I cut it. So anyways, first off, I want to say good morning. Second off, I want to say, hi, honey. Okay, you too. Don't forget your lunch. It's on the counter. Oh, I hope I gave Kayla her lunch. Second thing I want to say is thank you for joining me. And I wanted to share with you all, because I haven't shared and talked to you guys about this in a really long time, but I wanted to share with you all a little bit about me, and my story, and where my life used to be, and where my life is now, and how I got to where I am. I can't see, I think this is Damie. Good morning. And how I got to where I am now. And I'm not just meaning like physically where I am, but mentally with my soul. Like I have changed so many things in my life, and obviously all for the better. Teary-eyed just thinking about it. Oh, hey Desiree, sorry, I couldn't see it. It's so small. I have it on my phone. It's so tiny. So I wanted to just tell you a little bit about my story. Okay, we're going to go way back. Way back when. Thank you, Richard. We're going to go way back when. Yeah, make the tea my style. Chopped it. But this one, when I cut it, Tara, I ended up, right when I was done, I was like, oh, I think I cut that one a little too short. I'm like, oh, well. And it used to have sleeves. So I take the sleeves off and I cut the whole bottom of the shirt off. That way I won't be irritated when I'm doing my workout. Okay, so a little about me. My name's Tanya. Obviously, you guys know that. I am a mother of 2. I have had 5 pregnancies. Alex and I tried to have a family, but this body, for some reason, just did not want to carry a baby. So that was definitely a hard time. But let's take it way back when. All right, my life before I started this wonderful journey was crap. I was married at the time, not to Alex. I wish it was to Alex. Hey, Rebecca. But I was married to my children's father, and I was not happy. Many, many times would I talk to my best friend Amy and tell her that I just wanted to leave. I wasn't happy. There had to be something more in my life. Hi, Debbie. This couldn't be it. This could not be my final destination in life. It just couldn't. And I remember her and I going back and forth a lot with, do I leave? Do I stay? What do I do? I'm unhappy. I know I'm being cheated on. I was not treated very kindly, verbally, or physically. So it just was not a good place for me, for my mind, for my soul. And in turn, I had that extra weight on because I was unhappy. I wasn't overweight, so to speak, but I wasn't healthy and fit. So in the struggle with finance, the struggle was real. Like it would be me sitting down at the desk on a Friday, time to pay bills, basically raised my kids by myself. My husband at the time was a police officer. He was working a lot, made good money, but there was never any money in the bank to pay bills and to get stuff done. So either we lived way high above our means or all the money wasn't going to the bank. I still don't know, but I'll probably never know. But there was always a struggle when it came to money. I had to voluntarily repossess a car. My credit was shit. Like, I don't even think my number was on the charts, to be honest, because it was so low. So I have had to pretty much rebuild everything, my whole life, my credit. I had to start over with a job, okay? So in 2010, I'm trying not to give you the long version of the story, but my life was crap. I struggled. It was not rainbows and butterflies. I don't think there were any butterflies. Probably no rainbows either. But I stayed because of my kids. And I know that's not what you should do, but that's what I did. And I knew that there was more. I would go and try to get a job, but then I felt like my job was only paying for childcare for the kids. And it was like, what's the point of me busting my ass working to build somebody else's dreams just to pay for a stranger to take care of my babies, when I really deep down inside, I want to be home taking care of my babies. Like, that was always my dream. And I so wish I found this opportunity when my kids were little. Oh, man. I would have been such a happier person when they were little. I was miserable. I'm so glad that they can't remember me back then. So glad. Hey, Pam. So glad they can't remember me way back when. Because I wasn't a fun person to be around. I mean, if you ask some of my friends, they'll tell you I was fun. But that's usually because I was drinking, so I was just having a good time. But yes, Denise, I was just about to say that. If I had to go back and redo it, I would do the same, because I got my 2 beautiful children out of it. I probably would have left sooner. But like I said, I was staying for my kids. I didn't want them to have to do the back and forth life and all of that stuff. So I figured, let me just try to stick this out as long as I can. And I stuck it out until he asked for a divorce. And so back in 2010, which is when all that started, I had no job. I had a used car that, little did I know, was so used that they rolled the speedometer back so it looked like it had half the miles that it really had on the vehicle. So I found that out when I went to go trade it in and get myself a new car. So he asked for the divorce. So we talked. I made sure that's what he wanted. And I loaded up the car with my kids and all our belongings. We lived an hour away from where I live now, which is where my parents live now, and came to my parents' house. I had to start my life over. Mind you, no job. I had no money. All I had was my car, my kids, my clothes, and the gas that was in the tank. Okay? So that was in September. School starts in August. So the kids started school up in Palm Beach, and then we moved down here. So I had to get them physicals and do all this stuff down here to get them into the school system. So I will never forget the day I was driving them to the doctor's appointment to get their physical, and the gas tank fell out of my car. Yep. I didn't even know that was freaking possible. At that time of my life, anything that is possible that could happen to a person always ended up happening to me. Always. So the gas tank fell out of my car. Thank God to a friend of mine, Yusuf, who works in the car industry. He called his tow truck people. They came and picked up my car. They brought it to his repair guy. The guy fixed it. My friend paid for it for me because, remember, I don't have money. Paid for it for me, and then once I got a job, I paid him back. Like, thank God for people like that were in my life. So, got all that taken care of, okay? Now remember, I have no job. So I have to look for a job. And at that point in my life, it was just me looking for whatever would pay the bills, because I didn't want to live with my parents forever. I love my parents, but I didn't want to live with them forever. This is their empty nest time. They're not supposed to have their daughter and her 2 children move back in with them. Needless to say, they loved it. It didn't bother them at all because they loved me and my children. But I felt like I was a burden. I felt like I was putting them out. So I was hustling to find a job. It didn't take me long to find something, but the something that I found, hey Vanessa, the something that I found was not what I wanted. I was a legal secretary. I didn't want that job, but I took it because I needed a job. Okay? Oh, I'm still sleepy. I haven't finished my shake yet to get my energy. So, I took that job. Okay? Saved up my money. And finally was able to buy the kids and I, well, not buy, but get us into an apartment. Mind you, there's 3 of us. I could only afford a 2-bedroom. So I felt that my daughter, being the older child, should have her own room. So I shared a room with my son. He was super tiny then. This was a long time ago. This was 7 years ago. So he was like 6 or 7. So me and him shared a room because I figured it was part-time, not a big deal. So she got her own room, 2-bedroom apartment. So things were going great. I had a job. I had the apartment. Everything was going good. But I still wasn't feeling, there was no happiness. Hey, Deborah, there was no, whatever. And at that time, that's when we really started everything with the divorce. We didn't start the paperwork right away. I was trying to get settled. Hey, Jenny. So we didn't start that right away. But I was very stressed. Before I moved into my apartment, him and I tried one more time for the kids to try to rebuild and do things. And it wasn't working. I moved back in with him and the kids. We dated for a little bit again to try to bring that spark back to see if we can salvage anything. Things were great the first few months. And then things started to go back, patterns started to come back. And I was like, okay, this is how he is. This, some people can't change if it's not who they truly are inside. So, I got the apartment, but I was so stressed and I needed an exit. I needed some place to go. So I started walking. And those walks turned into jogs. And those jogs turned into runs. And it was just an amazing feeling. It was like the mind clarity. It was like free therapy for me because I am one that is always up here in my head, always in my head. And when I would do these runs, my mind would clear. And I would think everything through and I would replay everything because I'm one of those people that I replay everything that's going on in my life. Replay it. And when things happen, I replay it. Is there something I could have done better? Oh man, I should have said this. But so I as I would do my runs, I would just do all this replaying. I would replay a lot of things. And I found that I was working myself through a lot of my stress and a lot of my problems. Hi, Owen. Hi, good morning. I would de-stress and I would really get through a lot of my problems. And that's where my love for fitness started to grow because I took an unhappy, vindictive, bitter person and started making her feel happy, started making her realize, I could do something for me. I could do something to make myself feel better. I have suffered anxiety since I was a teenager on Xanax and all sorts of medication for years. And I noticed that I wasn't needing it as much. And during this most stressful, sad time in my life, I wasn't needing my medication. And I'm like, that's so weird. To me, that was weird because I would need it on a regular day where nothing was really going on. But then now I have this big stress in my life and I'm in my 30s, starting my life all over. And I'm not having panic attacks. I'm not having anxiety attacks. I was so taken back. And I realized it was because of the fitness that I was doing. I wasn't having the problems. I wasn't having the anxiety. I wasn't having the panic because I was getting rid of the stress in a different manner. So, sorry, I just have to keep an eye on the time to wake my son up. So then I just continued with it. And then I remember trying these shakes way back when, but when I was ready to start them is when everything started and I didn't have the money. So I decided, and I remembered how much they were. I decided, you know what? I'm going to do that for myself. That's the one thing I'm going to do for me. I'm not worried about anything else, not worried about my nails, not worried about my hair, nothing else. I'm going to do this for me. Because I want to be here for my kids. This is my vitamins and my nutrition and my probiotics, my antioxidants, my superfoods. Everything my body needs to get me healthy is right in here. And I have one of these a day. It's like instead of an apple a day keeps the doctor away, a shake a day keeps the doctor away. So I was determined to do this and to start drinking one of these every day for me and my kids. The way I looked at it was, hey mom, the way I looked at it was for me and my kids. And you know how us moms are. When there's something for our kids, we find a way to make that shit happen. We will move heaven and earth to make it happen. So I was looking through all of my belongings, and I'm looking in my closet, and I have all these designer bags, whether they were purchased for me or as a gift or whatever. And I was like, you know what? This girl only needs one purse. I'm going off necessities in life right now. I only need one bag. So I picked my favorite, and the rest of them went on eBay. And the money that I got from selling them, I used to get started. Okay? But when I signed up for the discount, of course, because I am the head of household, the only one paying the bills, the only one bringing money in, and I wanted a discount. Who wants to pay full price? So I did that. And I started really getting into fitness. I did P90X. And some days I couldn't do the whole workout. They're long. In my bedroom of my apartment, doing all the different moves of P90X. And I really fell in love with the company. I fell in love with all their products. And everybody started seeing changes in me. And they were asking me what I was doing. And I told them. And I was sharing my story with everyone. I was sharing my journey. And Coach Tanya was born. I started helping people. Within the first month, I was helping enough people that I no longer ever paid for this. I only paid for this to start. I haven't paid for it since. So my health and nutrition is free. So then I was like, ooh, maybe I could start to get my nails done. Maybe I could start to get my hair done. Then I was like, if I can get my shakes for free, what else can I get for myself? Now it's for me. I deserve it. I work hard. I'm a good person. So I hate notifications. So then I started really sharing, and I started reaching out to a lot of my friends on Facebook, letting them know what I was doing, letting them know how it was really helping me through the hardest time of my life, and asked them if they wanted to do it with me. That's when I started running the groups that I run. And, I started really reading into and learning more about the business, about having and building a business at home. And one thing that they really drill into you when you're running your own business is personal development. And I think they should drill that into people that are just doing this journey in general. So, because it's amazing what it does for you. At the beginning, I didn't believe it. I'll be honest. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll read a book. How the hell is that going to help me in my life? How the hell is reading a book going to help me build my business? It's just taking away time of what I can be doing to do things. So I finally gave in, and I finally started it. And I wasn't taking it 100% seriously, so it was only helping a little. Now, I look forward to it. When I'm done with this live, I'm going to read my book. Whether I sit down and actually read or I listen to, I have not decided yet. I think I have some towels to fold, so I might just listen to my book while I fold some laundry before I get Ryan up. But that is where my mind change started really taking place, and seeing my life in a more positive light, and knowing that there was good out there for me. And I should just write a letter to the company and tell them how much they helped me change my life. You know, it helps me a lot now with the stressors that still come with time sharing with children and dealing with ex-husband and things like that. It's still stressful, but my personal development helps me deal with that stress in such a different way than the old Tanya would have dealt with. So I feel like it saved me. This one decision to say, you know what, I want to drink that shake every day was just a ripple effect in the best life I could have ever wished for. Sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed. Trying not to. They are happy tears in my eyes, though. I am married to the most amazing man who gets me. He's willing to work on things with me. He's willing to help me around the house if I need it, help me with my business, help me with my kids. My children are amazing. I have a great job. I mean, who can say that they can get up, other than other coaches, that they can get up in the morning and make their shake and sit in their workout clothes and just chit chat with all of you guys for however long they want to, and then start their day. I make my own hours. Like, I feel like I'm living that dream life that I always dreamed about. And I honestly thought it would just stay a dream. I never thought it would be my reality. For my Facebook people, Denise on Instagram is asking how I met my husband now. Believe it or not. Thank you, Facebook. We have a mutual friend on Facebook. And it was right when Facebook changed to where, like, if one of your friends comments on anyone else's picture or likes anyone else's picture, that post shows up in your newsfeed. And she happened to comment on a picture of me. Of course, I was in a bathing suit. I was at the W down on Fort Lauderdale Beach. And she commented on the picture. So it showed up on his newsfeed. Now, mind you, he was not a big Facebook person. He's still not a big Facebook person. He's more now than he was because I'm a big Facebook person. So he said something just came to him and he's like, I'm bored. I'm just going to see what's going on in the Facebook world. And he was scrolling and he saw that and he immediately texted her, "Who is Tanya? Why is she on my newsfeed? Do I know her?" Like, he didn't know Facebook had changed. He wasn't big on Facebook. And she started explaining who I was and everything. He's like, "Oh my God, she is gorgeous. She's beautiful. How could anybody let her go?" And so, of course, she texts me and tells me that, you know, one of my friends thinks you're hot. And I'm like, who? Tell me, like any other girl. So he friend requested me on Facebook. We talked. Before we met in person, we talked for about a month and a half on Facebook. Then we exchanged numbers and we talked through text like all day long, like we still do. And that's really it. So when we got married, we asked her to marry us. So she got her notary and stuff like that, and she married us. So that is how I met him, through social media. And that's how I've met a lot of my girl tribe, a lot of the Get Fit Crew team. I've met them right here through social media. Like, I thank social media for so many things, you know, and obviously the universe, because things are only going to happen when they're supposed to happen. So obviously he was supposed to find me at that time. But the universe is what told him to get on Facebook at that particular time to see that particular picture. And it's funny because we had a few mutual friends way back in the day also. So it's funny how we've never met before until we were supposed to meet. So it just is funny to me the way the universe works. Help me to keep telling myself I can do anything. You have been an inspiration to me. Thank you, Rebecca, because you can do anything. You truly, truly can. You know, it's all about our mindset, and it's all about what we tell ourselves that we can do. And if you tell yourself you can do anything, the saying is so true. If you tell yourself you can't, or you tell yourself you can, you're right. Because you're going to do whatever you think you can do or can't do. That's going to be the outcome. So that's just a quick little blip of my story. I mean, I could have really went into depth about a lot of things, which I have in the past. So if you want to see that, there's many videos on my YouTube channel about my story, different clips of my story. But I felt I needed to share that with you all today. I haven't shared that with you guys in a really long time. I have a lot of new friends on here. So I felt that I wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit. So when we are messaging back and forth, and I do tell you that I understand that you have no money to get started, but you really want to get started, or when you tell me things that are going on in your life that are a really hard time for you, I get it. I get it. I have been there. I have been through the ringer. I have been dragged through the mud. I have been stepped on and stomped on and taken for granted and treated like crap, and I have been there. So when I tell you I understand, I'm truly understanding. I'm not just saying that to say that to you. I truly understand where you're coming from and what is going on. So I hope you guys have a terrific Friday. Thank you for joining me and letting me share my story with you guys. I love to share, because if it just inspires or helps one person to get out there and start doing something to change their life that they're unhappy with, then I've done my job. So have a great Friday, guys. I'm going to dive into listening to my book while I fold some towels. Then I'm going to get my son up, and then I'm going to get started on my day. So I hope you have a terrific day, guys. Happy Friday.